What's up, everybody? Arrg The Pirate here, and today we're going to play a little all over Zeus. And I say that because we've got 3 hunters, a Ymir that just kind of running around like crazy, and it really is an all over Zeus match. Now, before I get into the kind of gameplay and everything like that, the build guide, whatever, I'm going to start up Sunday Fun Days here on PlayStation 4, and we're going to do Sunday Fun Days starting at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, you know, starting this Sunday. If you are interested in doing a Sunday Fun Day where, you know, it's just a group of friends get together and do some silly stuff on Smite, like, you know, have all mages or, you know, just things like that, if that's something you're interested in, add me on PlayStation 4, Arrg_The_Pirate, and we'll get you into the match. Well, alright guys, let's get into this build. Now for my first 1500 gold, I'm going to start out with Mage's Blessing, Tiny Trinket, 3 healing potions, and 2 mana potions. Tiny Trinket is rank 1 of Bancroft's Talon, if you didn't know that. And then I'm going to pick up Shoes of the Magi, Bancroft's Talon, Spear of the Magus, Isolation Gem, Hide of the Urchin, and then Book of the Dead. And then I've also got Blink, as well as Aegis for my relics. Next up, we have his kit, and his passive is kind of relies around a lot of his other abilities, so we'll go over that last, and starting out with number 1, Chain Lightning. Zeus fires a bolt of lightning that arcs between enemies, doing damage and applying a charge to each enemy hit, and it also slows the target for 2 seconds. Aegis Assault is his 2. Zeus throws his shield forward, dealing damage to nearby enemies. The shield remains on the ground for 5 seconds, and Zeus may target it with basic attacks or chain lightning. Each basic attack or first chain lightning arc that hits the shield will deal damage in a static kind of area around the shield. So basically, you could throw your shield down and then just tee off on it with your basic attacks and get some AoE damage. Detonate Charge is Zeus's 3. Zeus detonates any charges that have accumulated on enemies, doing damage, and it is multiplied by the number of charges. Each enemy can have up to 3 charges on them. Next up, we have his ultimate, Lightning Storm. Zeus conjures up a lightning storm, striking enemies in an area every second, applying charges with each hit. And this lasts for 5 seconds. It's a pretty big area, and it does an absolute ton of damage. Now for his passive, Overcharged. In-hand lightning bolt attacks against enemies will apply a charge. Basic attacks against targets with charges deal increased damage, and it's 30% per charge. So you can do almost double damage with basic attacks if someone has 3 charges, which is pretty insane. But the big thing about this is your 1 applies charges, your ultimate applies charges, your basic attack applies charges, but your Aegis doesn't. But if you basic attack your Aegis, that radiation that kind of goes out from the Aegis does apply charges. And, you know, just basically your Aegis applies those charges when you hit it, and you can see that happening there. Getting 3 stacks of charges on your enemies and then detonating that, you know, actual charge is absolutely huge. It does a huge amount of damage if you have 3 stacks. If you've only got 1, you know, it's much more of a tickle, but you can really finish someone off that's running away if they have those 3 charges. Alright, now let's get into this gameplay. So you can see me and Art, we absolutely dominated our lane, was able to take it down very, very quickly. And here, I've got some stacks on to that Agni, and we're able to get quite a bit of damage on him. I'm going to chase him down just a little bit. He does end up using his Aegis there, but we'll be able to take him out with those charges, and you can see the amount of you get those 3 charges on. It does a ton of damage, guys, and it's well worth stacking up those charges before you detonate them. One thing I see a lot of Zeus players do, or a lot of newer Zeus players do, is play very, very aggressive. Zeus is a mid to late game god that he doesn't have an escape, guys. Since he doesn't have that escape, and his damage output is not quite as high in the early stages because he does take kind of a full kit to really get online and start doing damage. You don't want to play quite as aggressive. You know, that escape is a killer because, you know, if a Bakasura jumps on you and at level 4, you're probably not going to be able to get away from him unless you're close to your tower, as well as you're probably not going to have the damage to really take him out in that time. So that's definitely something to be aware of. Now, we are here dealing with this Kronos, and man, if I can land a shot, I've got to learn how to aim with the PlayStation. But we're going to end up using our 3 to take him out, and again, you can see the damage from that overcharge, or from that detonate, is absolutely awesome, and, you know, hey, we're able to get our second kill. Now, Arrg is staying engaged on that T2, but, you know, hey, it's definitely time to back off, especially this early in the game. You know, the spawn timers are very, very quick. It's going to be difficult to take that tower down, and we need to head to mid so they don't take our mid tower. And sure enough, we're able to absolutely delete Kali. You know, hey, that's great. We follow up that detonate charge on Agni. You know, we're doing work, guys. We're already starting to hit pretty hard, which, you know, hey, that's great. And Agni ends up dashing out. Maybe we can get some actual damage on this tower. You can see me. I'm trying to push it here. I'm using that detonate charge to kind of clear that minion wave. And let's go in on this tower, get some poke on it. Chiron, he did show up, and, you know, hopefully we'll be able to start taking this tower out. And, you know, hey, that'd be great. Getting this T1 down, since they've kind of already got our T1 down, you know, that'd be a great play on our part. Now, Agni does show up here, and Chiron actually starts attacking him. Guys, when you are under tower, you don't want to attack the enemy gods, because the tower starts instantly attacking you. And, you know, that's never a good thing. Now, we are getting some poke onto Agni. You can see here, we're going to have him very, very low. And, you know, I just want to try to get this tower down so badly. But, you know, Agni, if he stays in, we might be able to make something happen. We do take some extra poke from him there. We have to be very careful, because if he does have another ultimate without us having a real escape, he could take us out. So, you know, just be very, very aware of that. We do have our health potion going, and you can see we were able to clear that wave since he was kind of concentrating on me. I'm going to back him off with my ultimate and actually take him out with that detonate charge. There we go, guys. You right there. That's Zeus. Just do tons and tons of damage very, very quickly, and, you know, we are able to face off against an Agni at that point. Now, coming up, we have our first death, and this is one thing that's definitely big to be aware of in these ranked matches that I'm in, is, you know, your team is not going to pay attention to that map. And even if you do call out, your team isn't just awesome at it. And you can see Chiron's right there, Arrg's right there. We should have some rotation, especially as long as this fight lasts. And we're so close. We should have been able to take her out, but she's got her shield on, and she's gonna end up taking us out and surviving with just half a health. And you could see Chiron and Arrg are both, you know, they never responded to that as well. You know, our Ymir's 100 miles ahead for whatever reason. But really, you definitely have to play as a solo player. You know, until you get into those little, just a little bit higher ranked matches, that's definitely one thing that you have to consider, is you cannot rely on rotations, things like that. So it's just something to be aware of, guys. And you could see there, even if I would have just turned and ran, I might not have been able to get away, because Zeus is that slow. But still, you know, it would have been nice to have some rotation there. Now, once we spawn back in, we're going to head down mid lane. You can see here, our Ymir, man, he just dives into that tower, and he ends up going down. You know, Bellona is here, and so we need to be aware of that. But, you know, hopefully we can make something happen. Now, sure enough, she comes into my minion wave here, and we are able to kind of defend a little bit, but you can see she's doing so much more damage to me. And since I've got my minion advantage, since she came into my minion wave, she was taking an absolute ton of poke there. And that really allowed me to survive long enough to get an ability off and take her out. Bellona definitely has a much stronger earlier game than I do. Like I said, I'm a mid to late game god, and I really come alive late game. So playing that hyper aggressive with Zeus can really result in some bad things. We got lucky there where we had a huge minion advantage, and she came in with half health. If she'd have just been a little bit more healthier, then I would have gone down again. Now, since we are kind of out of our laning phase, you know, we've pretty much got the T1s down. You know, I'm I'm really free to rotate, especially with how our team is going. And we're going to rotate over to our duo lane. You can see Kronos is here, and we're able to get a couple of stacks on him. I go ahead and hit him with that ultimate, but I'm going to hold off on using my detonate charge until he comes back to full health. He came back to full health in my ultimate. I was able to detonate those charges, and we just took him out easy peasy, especially with Arrg here just teeing off on him. You know, GG. Now, one thing about Kali is she can absolutely delete me. Since I don't have an escape, I don't have any way of getting out of her ultimate or anything like that. All I've got is damage. She can definitely delete me. So, you know, that's something that you definitely want to be aware of. And you can see here, she's staying engaged on me, and just that burst damage that I have. You know, we're doing a ton of work to her, but you can see she's so much faster than me. If she was to jump or anything like that just to get away from me, it would be very, very difficult for me to ever catch up to her. But, you know, she's kind of playing this runaround game, and we're going to end up chasing her down and being able to take her out. You know, she really should have disengaged from that, or just fully engaged on me. You know, popped her ultimate and just shredded me to death, because there's nothing I would have been able to do other than that massive amount of damage. And, you know, if she popped her ultimate, she probably would have been able to survive long enough to actually withstand my damage. Again, Zeus is one of those gods that's all about that positioning, and in this match, you know, it's a little bit less about that, but you definitely want to position yourself well. Now, I am heading over to our solo lane, you know, kind of cleaning that up. Let's get some lanes pushing. Let's make something happen. Chiron's here. Bologna's here. We should be able to make something happen. You know, let's get our stacks on her. She's, again, back in my minion wave, taking that minion poke. Unfortunately, you know, Chiron kind of went around a kind of goofy way, but that's quite all right. We're going to be able to take her out. And, hey, GG. It's time to head back to base, top off. You can see, again, Bologna is coming into my minion wave, so she's taking my massive amount of damage on top of her taking, you know, a ton of damage from the minions. And since she's not just clearing those minion waves with her, you know, swirly hammer ability, you know, that minion damage is staying sustained, and that's really going to tear anybody up. But again, if she were to come in full health and clear my minions, I wouldn't stand a chance. Now, one thing you definitely always want to do is keep an eye on your minimap, because it can really help you out. You can see here, I know that Kronos is going into our T2, and then I see Neith shows up, and then there's, you know, there is kind of a collapse. Let's go ahead and zone those gods out, and sure enough, we're able to do a little bit of work. You know, Kronos is running around, and we're able to get quite a bit of damage on him, but luckily, Neith is able to wrap both of those kills up, which is exactly what we want. Yeah, as long as someone's taking out those kills, it doesn't matter who gets them, and sure enough, that worked like a charm. Now, I have done a great job of farming so far in this match. I'm currently the highest level. You know, I've got 2 levels over everybody else, or over the next highest, as well as I've got a pretty decent gold advantage. And this is really going to allow me to play aggressive, even with Zeus, because my damage output is insane. You can see that basic attack even hit Thanatos for quite a chunk of damage for being a basic, you know, and we're starting to get our stacks online. I'm going to hopefully throw that Aegis, and, you know, his stack faded before I could use my overcharge, which is unfortunate. And you can see Aegis didn't apply that stack right there, but if I would have hit it with a basic once it's down, it would have. Now, Kali is definitely heading in. You know, hey, that's great. That's we should be able to take her out. And you can see she did stun me. She did everything right. I've just got such an advantage over her right now. We're going to be able to get a couple of stacks on her and just absolutely delete her. And, you know, is what it is. If she would have gone in a little bit earlier, once those minions showed up, the minions, again, they help me do damage to her, especially at this higher, you know, this pretty decent advantage I have over her. I'm now currently 7 levels above her, and, you know, that's pretty big. We are able to take out Thanatos as well as follow it up with this T2. Agni is going in on our Phoenix in our solo lane. Hopefully, Chiron can go over there and deal with that. You know, there's Agni and Bologna. We should be able to push into this tower, especially with our Arrg and our Ymir heading over to that Phoenix in the duo lane. We should be able to really get some progress here and hopefully take one of these Phoenixes out. Now, their Kali does end up showing up. I'm at half health. You know, I could not deal with a Kali right now. So, I'm just going to go ahead and back up, especially if she had her ultimate. You know, I just do not want to deal with that at this point. Unfortunately, Art and our Ymir end up going down there. You know, it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and back off. You know, we can no longer play aggressive, especially with Bellona showing up. Bellona and Agni are here. You know, they peeled off of that Phoenix in our solo lane. So let's just get out of this situation. Let's regroup. Let's kind of figure out where we are and just continue our farm. Now, let's go ahead and back. Let's get our Gem of ISO on. That paired with the Spear of Magus. You know, that we're just going to start shredding people. They're not going to be able to get out of my ult. My ult's going to keep damaging for harder and harder, and then I get my stacks up. We're going to start doing work. And sure enough, we are able to absolutely delete that Bellona as well as Kali there. You know, I believe Neith got both those kills, but, you know, no problem. This is really, you know, it's a team-based game. There is no kill stealing. There is nothing like that. You know, it's as long as people are surviving, that's what you want. And we're able to keep Neith alive. And Neith is just as important as I am in this match. You know, having that damage is always great. We're going to head in on Agni. And where'd he go, man? Me and Chiron just deleted him. You know, don't spit your fire at me. We're gonna hopefully be able to push into this T2. You know, let's try to make something happen here. Let's try to get some damage on this. With me and Chiron together, hopefully we can make something happen. Unfortunately, you know, he is kind of messing around in the jungle. Hopefully he comes over here, you know, really helps me push this, really get this T2 down. That would be great. One thing I see a lot of other people do is this kind of thing right here. I see a lot of people not helping out. You know, Chiron not going into the tower. You know, he would do so much more damage to the tower than I am able to. But, you know, he's instead doing some jungle stuff. Guys, when you have a great opportunity to go in on a tower, make sure to do it, especially if you're that basic attack god, because you can delete towers. You can see I'm chipping down at it fairly decent. If I would have someone that could actually do damage to a tower, we would have been able to take that out much, much faster. Now, Agni is here, but, you know, that's quite all right. Again, we're doing a great job of farming. We're 4 levels above him. You know, again, with the gold, we should be able to take him out, and I am not going to worry about Kali right here, because Kali, you know, she's just not doing a whole lot of damage right now, and we're able to take both of them out. You know, we want to focus on the threat, and that's exactly what we did there. We focused on Agni, who could undoubtedly take me out. But, you know, Kali, she could be an inconvenience and do some steady poke damage. But again, we want to focus on the god that will do the most damage to us. And, you know, that did allow us to get that double kill. Now, I want this tower bad. And, you know, Bellona shows up and we use our ult there. We didn't even get to detonate the charges on her. We absolutely delete her. And, you know, hopefully we can take this Phoenix out. I really want to get this Phoenix, but you can see I just don't have the damage. As a mage, you really don't have the damage to take out, you know, those type of targets, but that's quite all right. You know, if you can shove that lane in there, get those minions in there, it might actually happen. And with Kali showing up, you know, we need to be very, very careful here, and we're going to end up using our Aegis there. We end up following that up with those detonate charges to take out Kali, and I do have my blink. You know, Agni's chasing me down. I want to make sure that I get out. You know, just keep an eye on what's going on. We see Agni is, you know, he's still further back. He's not going to be able to catch me now. I'm going to go ahead and pop a healing potion and then just go back to base. And, you know, hey, we got some damage on that Phoenix. We weren't able to take it out, but we did get the dual lane Phoenix. Now, one thing I have definitely struggled with is the side objectives are almost never taken in these matches. You know, one of my biggest issues is I cannot use the chat system. I think it's just horrible. I don't like it on PC, but I really don't like it on PlayStation. But you can see there, guys, we got some charges on Agni and on Bellona, and you see we almost took both of them out with that detonator. The damage is unreal. And, you know, let's go ahead. Let's try to take this Phoenix out. You know, I'm going to stay pushed up on it. And, you know, Ymir just kind of goes in and starts diving. You know, he must be very new to the game. But, you know, it's quite all right. we're going to go ahead, try to focus down Kali. You know, she popped her ultimate there. Let's avoid her ultimate as much as possible. Get some stacks on her, and sure enough, we're able to take her out. You know, I'm trying to get my third stack on Bellona there, and stacks go away. She ends up beating me to death with that bat. Feels bad, man, but, you know, hey, again, when you play aggressive with Zeus, you know, if you don't have your team there to back you up, you are just a very, very weak target. Once you kind of get rid of your kit, that's it. That's all you got. You can stand behind minions, but you see, at this point in the game, minions don't do a whole lot. Now let's go ahead and cut that death timer out. You know, let's start seeing if we can make some plays happen. You know, our team is getting on those staggered deaths, and, you know, it is a 4v5 fight. You know, that's something to definitely be aware of, even though, you know, our Ymir is, you know, he's kind of charging recklessly and things like that. You know, it is a 4v5 fight, and that gives the enemy team a huge, huge disadvantage. But is what it is. Again, we're going to wait to detonate those charges onto Kronos, you know, until he uses his ult to come back, you know, with full health. And we're going to start going in, you know, and you can see we were kind of putting that minion between us a little bit to try to get him to start using that minion and hitting the minion instead of hitting me. And, you know, it kind of worked for the most part. But again, I'm just absolutely terrible with aiming on PlayStation. But, you know, yeah, I'm pretty bad anyways. So we are able to start getting some stacks onto Kronos. And sure enough, we get a couple on him there. We're able to detonate that charge. But again, you know, he's pretty tough. We only had 2 charges on him. You know, that definitely wasn't a full amount of damage, and we have to be aware of, hey, the enemy team showing up. Let's go ahead and back off. Let's regroup with our team, and maybe we can get into a fight here. Now, sure enough, that's exactly what happens. You know, our Ymir ended up walling off that Aegis, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, we're all kind of here. I throw that bolt out there. You know, that's unfortunate. Arrg does use her ult, and it's GG. You know, that was a huge play, and we're able to get an awesome double kill there. I'm gonna go ahead and back. I didn't really help out that much in that fight, but hey, you know, I brought him to us, so that's something, I suppose. Now, I am going to go ahead and back. You know, hey, we're at full build. There's not a whole lot more that we can do, and let's continue to make something happen. And sure enough, we're going to head over. Kali is going in on Arrg. We need to just delete her. We throw that ult down. 2 hits from that ult, and she's gone. And Bellona does show up, but again, you know, we're all kind of here. I got my 3 charges on her, but, you know, hey, she's backing off. Let's just let her go, and you can see we were able to hit that Agni with that charge, get a little bit more damage on him, if I can only aim. And we are able to do a little bit to Bellona there, but hey, you know, there's no reason in chasing right now. Let's push this wave. Let's get this in under the Phoenix. You know, that's really what we want. We're able to hit that Agni a little bit, but again, we're not putting those charges on with that Aegis. You have to hit the Aegis afterwards to get those basic, or get the charges on. And from here, we're just going to keep this pressure up. You know, Kronos and Bellona are both right here. And, you know, with our Ymir going in on that other tower, you know, he's heading in. Yeah, hopefully we can make something happen here. But, you know, it's unfortunate that we're not going to be able to. There, Kali ends up heading over to me. And again, you know, if I could aim, luckily Zeus doesn't require just a whole ton of aiming. And we're able to get tons of work on this Kali. You know, I've really got to figure out how to aim, guys. I've really got to figure out how to aim. She ends up turning around and taking me out. And you can see that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Zeus cannot play too aggressive, especially when, you know, you cut those sight lines down. You know, running into the jungle after Kali is never a good idea. And it will 99% of the time end up with you dead. Now, once we spawn back in, we're going to head down mid lane. Again, we are getting these Phoenixes down, and we've got the Titan down about half. We're just not able to really make a push, especially without having someone that can absorb some damage. But is what it is. We're going to go in on this Bellona. We're able to get quite a bit of work on her. You know, taking her down pretty much, you know, 3/4 of the way. We're able to get some stacks onto Agni, and you can see, once we get those stacks on, you know, they're threatening. He's going to peel off, and, you know, I'm just going to save my overcharge. You know, let's save that up. you know, because if I were to use that, yeah, it wouldn't kill him, and he'd probably back and, you know, come back healthier than ever. So, you know, we might as well just kind of scare him off a little bit, and sure enough, we're able to push that into the tower. Bellona is here going after Ymir. Hopefully we can follow this up and take her out. Sure enough, we're able to. Fortunately, Ymir goes down there, but is what it is. Kronos is here, and hopefully we can take Kronos out. Sure enough, we've got a couple of stacks on him. If we could only aim, and, you know, there we go. We got another stack. Hit him with that. Hit him with our one, that chain lightning. Take him out. Kali is here. You know, let's do our best to get out of that. We're going to throw that Aegis down, and then we're going to go ahead and just blink out of there so she doesn't, you know, continue to run. And, you know, she might be able to catch up still, but hopefully we can get out. Sure enough, we are able to get out. You know, our fire minions show up, and I don't know why she's sticking around. We're going to end up throwing her ult down and getting a couple of stacks on her, detonating, and, you know, being able to take her out. Easy peasy. And, you know, from here, let's head back down mid. Let's see if we can make something happen. You know, Ymir, unfortunately, you know, I'm not exactly what Ymir's... I'm not sure what Ymir's doing. He hasn't even put on items yet, but, you know, is what it is. And we're going to be able to, you know, kind of keep that wave pushed up a little bit, but you can see they're chasing me. I need to be very, very careful. I don't have my ult. I don't have a whole lot. You know, I don't have a blink. I've got an Aegis, but, you know, that's about it. Kronos comes into my minion wave, and again, that's a mistake. You don't want to do that. We're gonna wait, detonate those charges. Once he shows back up, sure enough, we're able to detonate them, and, you know, we just have to be able to hit him. You know, he's able to move so much easier than I am. With that detonate charge, we're able to take him out. Easy peasy, easy peasy. And from here, again, we're gonna push this mid lane. You know, let's push this mid lane. You know, my team is we're still getting those staggered deaths, and we definitely need to watch out for that. But hopefully, we can make something happen coming up. Now, once I saw my solo lane go down like that, I knew they were going in on fire time. So let's head over there. Sure enough, we're able to take out Agni. We're able to take out Kali, which I didn't even see her, you know? And then Bellona's here. You know, we've got a couple of stacks on Bellona. If we could take her out, this would be huge. And sure enough, we're able to wrap up a triple kill there. You know, man, we're doing work this match. You know, we have made a couple of pretty big mistakes, but luckily we've been able to pull it off, and this should be GG at this point. You know, we should be able to march, especially with this solo lane, it not even having the Phoenix. We should be able to march right down there, take out the Titan, and, you know, hey, we've already even gotten minions on it. We're going to be able to take it out before we even get there. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the all-over Zeus guide. I really hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.